Hello, America, and to our friends around the world, greetings. Today we're going to cover the Ellipsis behavioral table of elements, the D1 card, guiding. Guiding is your arm. We've all seen in a history book or at a museum the cast statue, perhaps of Lewis and Clark, pointing into the horizon before they started their long, long journey across the Louisiana Purchase to Astoria, Oregon, where they set up Fort Clatsop and then traveled back. It's that pointing direction that an individual use. They'll use their arm outstretched, and it's guiding. Also, if you've done any kind of partner dancing, your arm will lead. For the men that lead, most often it's the men will lead in dancing, and you will outstretch your arm to have your partner follow. And that's where you begin your spin or the dip or any other action. Your arm is a guiding movement. All right, so guiding has a variable factor of 3. It's a cultural prevalence and gender, uniform. Both are uniform. It's pretty much globally, and men, women, boys, girls. It's an open expression, which is also, we're going to cover the color keys again, just to keep them fresh in your mind. There is no contradictory behavior. When you're guiding, you're guiding. Even in a fight, you want to watch your opponent, their arms and their feet and their hips, to learn where they're going to attack you or what they're looking at attacking. The same thing. If you watch your opponent's arms and their fists, you're going to have an idea as to what it is that you need to be protecting. So again, to reemphasize, guiding is your arm. Deception's not likely. The DRS number, the rating scale, deception rating scale, is 1. There is no microphysiological. And here's the color key code again. Since the chart that I have coming up to cover guiding, all of the elements that it connects to, in addition to its own, are fully open. So keep that in mind, that, refresh yourself, pauses, take notes that, fully open is green, high stress is yellow, deceptive and or stress is gray, facial expressions is off blue, light blue, bright blue perhaps, because variable is baby blue. Medium stressor is kind of that beige, weak orange. Temperature effect is the ice blue ink with a white background. Deceptive, if mixed, is the red text with a white background. Take the notes as you need them. That way, when you're out, you can. I use this as an example with the Dutch learning language, that when you write the words out, it is an autodidact. It's a muscle memory of writing the words so that it creates a neuron path in your brain, a muscle memory. And again, I could be mistaken about it being a muscle memory, but there's something about the physical act of writing these things out that translates into your brain a more hardened association or memory. And maybe it's not just because you're reading it, you're also writing it. 2 actions instead of 1 action. And here is the index gesture types. Again, closed, open, aggressive, unsure. And not to confuse unsure with universal. Unsure is abbreviated UNS, and universal is abbreviated with a U. And it's both, both cases of U are uppercase, but one appears as a subscript and one appears as a mirror text, normal size text. So don't confuse it as being lowercase or a different abbreviation. They both represent universal. So let's see if there's anything else on this chart. DNL, deception not likely. And, okay, so here's the index. B is before answering, D is during an answer, A after answer, M and F mostly male, mostly female. And then it gets into the regional portion of the world, Ukraine, which is hot in the news currently, Middle East, which is secondarily hot in the news lately, Bulgaria, which seems to be, for where it's located, quite quiet. And of course, Asian countries with all of these foreign investments coming into the United States, both Japan industries and Taiwanese industries, making big financial commitments. Was it a half a trillion from two different companies from each of those two respective nations? Regardless, I don't want to get deep in the weeds. But again, autodidactic memory, write these things out so that it helps reinforce what they are when you come across them.
And you're looking up at the sky and your hands sort of reaching toward the future.
All right, so let's reach into our future ability to understand these different behavioral elements. And here's the connections. You've got head downcast, you have palm, you have digital extension, you have facing, and all of these, if I'm not mistaken, have already been covered as being either individually profiled or already connected to as the confirming gesture or amplifying gesture. And the video clip I used as the example of the arm outstretched, guiding, you know, LeVar Burton's Geordie LaForge is guiding, showing Zephyr Cochrane, the That'll Do Pig actor, James something. Anyway, guiding people into the future. You're guiding them to the store. You're guiding them to your home, whatever it is. Or if you're feeling, belligerent, you're guiding them down the path to, as the old joke, a diplomat is being a diplomat is the ability to tell somebody, in a nice way. All right, so guiding is pretty basic. It's something that all of us most likely have done, unless you have some kind of limb restriction, such as quadriplegia or a muscular issue, a restraint issue. But generally speaking, most people have done this action. You'll find it in a variety of situations. You'll find it in the boardroom to the sports field and points in between. Take a look at these elements that are connected and refer to the chart as far as how to amplifying and confirming and contradictory, and see how these things play out. And again, just to emphasize, I'm only including contradictory because that's a point that's on an element card, but it's not one that's labeled on this card in particular. It's an open gesture. Typically, it is something that people do in the moment. All right, so that concludes guiding. Any questions? Leave them in the comments. Good luck.